Tonight's DJNTV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Numark, and DJNTV Insiders.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of DraxBytes. I'm your host. We're going to talk a bit about talent. More specifically, about stupid, crazy ideas people have about upselling talent. Like you somehow parcel out your talent and then sell it individually for more money. Recently, the topic came up in social media discussing upselling beat mixing. Really? Are we talking serious? Beat mixing is a fundamental skill or fundamental talent every DJ should have. It should be in your toolbox, a fundamental tool. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time, doesn't mean you have to do it every event, but beat matching or beat mixing will fundamentally shift how you program music for your guests. Now, with that, I'd also like to add the idea of harmonic mixing. Harmonic mixing is a rare quality in a DJ that allows you to take two songs, different genres, maybe close BPMs, but make them sound like they were made for each other. That's because if you match them harmonically, you're moving from one song at one key to another one in a complementary key. That makes it work, and that helps you make smooth transitions from songs that otherwise you'd probably say, I can beat mix them, but they don't really sound good. This allows you to take songs that would normally not beat mix straight out, but beat mix better because you're going to mix songs that are harmonically balanced. I can't imagine DJs. You know, this goes to my whole rant earlier about selling subwoofers. My goodness, folks, we bring music. We bring entertainment. Are we really going to tell consumers, you got to pay me an extra $50 if you don't want the sound to suck? If you actually want bass, real bass, not faux bass? Because guess what, folks? The amount of bass produced at a given distance from a subwoofer is significantly better than produced from a regular driver. And so what you want to look at is how you are taking things and how you are making them better. What you're doing to enhance the sound, make it full and rich and warm and wonderful. That happens when you're using a full range complement of speakers. Now, I'm not telling you that you can't do a party for 20 people with a single speaker, but why? Or you can't do it with a pair of speakers on sticks, but why? Why would you want to give them an artificially poorer quality sound than what you could do with giving a subwoofer? Here's an example. Put two speakers on sticks and you're driving them average. The bass sounds really large, really boomy, and it's flooding the room. Put the same speakers on top of a sub on a short pole, and now look at the sound difference. The bass is down low, the bass is effective, the bass is localized. You're not tossing bass into the entirety of the room. You're keeping it localized to the dance floor. It's a valuable thing. But now coming back around to the idea of upselling beat mixing. Does anybody really think that's good? Does anybody really think that values you? You want to be able to say, I beat mix, and as such, I'm a better DJ. I have better talent. I bring more skills. We hear the word skills all the time. Bring more skills. Put it in your price, period. Now, if you want to call it an upsell, but it's in the total mix of what a client pays and not a line item that they choose to accept or reject, see, that's my problem. I'm not saying that if you're talented enough to beat mix, you shouldn't charge more, actually, because you really should, but rather that should be inclusive in your base fee. Delivering your best work should always be in your best fee. I've never upsold for custom grand entrances. I've never upsold for love stories. There's a base fee. There's a base fee, or any other kind of specialized functionality that you do. There's a base fee, and that base fee has to include all things because it's reflective of your talent. When you're selling your talent, you want to pitch the largest gap between you and others. If you start off at the cheap DJ price plus $200 or plus $100, but for the really cool stuff that they saw you do at somebody's party, it's, well, you need to add this and add that and add a subwoofer and add a custom grand entrance and add this and add that to get to your fee. You're basically selling against yourself. You're saying the next guy that says he does the same thing for less is a better value, or he talks them out of those other things and says you don't need them. Rather, contemplate what you're selling. You're not selling a package of things. You're not selling a package of props and accoutrement. You're selling a result. You are paying, or the customer is paying you for an outcome, a result. They don't, as Randy Bartlett and others often say, they don't pay for your experience, they pay for theirs. In other words, they are paying you to craft something that is wonderful and unique for them. That's the value of selling in a package. You sell your talent as a package. They get all your talents and skills, or they get none of them. And when you do this, the value to you is you get to add hidden surprises. You get to add things in the delivery of the service that they may not have on their line item of checked off things, but things like dramatic closings to the party, dramatic send-offs. You can now make those functions rich and enjoyable and make them completely surprising, which will increase the enrichment that the client experiences, which will be directly related to what they're willing to pay you for what you've done, for what they're willing to refer you for what you've done. Think about these things as you look at your event, as you look at pricing and structure. And for heaven's sakes, let's get off the idea that we have to upsell everything. We don't. If you want to elevate the industry, there has to become a base level of talent upon which that's built. And beat mixing is one of them. It just is, folks. You don't have to do it, but knowing how to do it is so important. But I would encourage you to try beat mixing. Pick a few dance songs, put them into a great beat mix. What I used to do is I would develop 3 or 4 great songs that work together both beat and harmonically, and I'd mix them into a set, and I'd have them in a little mini playlist with the cue points already in. So bing, bing, bing. I'm watching it, click it, it switches to the next one, click it, it moves to the next one at the cue points right where I want it, and it sounds like a perfectly beat mix set. That's what you want to have. No, I didn't have the headphone on and I wasn't queuing it up live. That is cool, and you should certainly focus on that if you choose. I chose not to because I wanted to spend my time face out into the crowd, working the crowd, watching the crowd, versus looking down at the controller, at the computer, and doing things. Where the way I did it, I'm head up and I can look and I see the cue points coming by and I simply hit the mix or move the fader and we're good. These are just some tips coming from Drax. This is DraxBytes for this week, the 29th or 30th of May. Time flies. We hope you're having a great time. Please leave your comments down below. You can reach me on Facebook at Hugo Drax or 4ADJA or the Photo Booth Association, although this episode didn't have as much to do with photo booths. But in a passing comment, for those that do photo booths, think about it the same way. Stop upselling every single thing you do. Give more value than they expect. You'll always get great reviews. You'll always get referrals when you give more than you take. Peace out. See you next week.